Welcome. My name is Paul Binion. I'm one of the sales engineers here at Hard Dollar Corporation. For today's session, we're going to learn about how you can bring in your resource rates from another source, such as Excel. Very common, you're going to need to update your rates maybe on an annual basis, or perhaps because you have different rates for a different region, and you may need to pull those in from either another application such as your accounting tool or from Excel itself as you have those stored in spreadsheets. And Excel is really the key application that we'll be able to work with to bring those rates right into Hard Dollar so that you don't have to do a lot of data entry, manually entering them in, and save yourself a lot of time and effort. To do that, we're going to go into the HD library and access Master Resource Rates. As we come in here and look at the labor category, notice I don't have any labor rates in there at the moment, no labor resources. So we're going to go ahead and bring those in using Excel. When I bring up the Excel spreadsheet, you'll notice that I have the code, the description, and I have a breakout of rates for each of those resources. The first step is going to be to copy the code and the description of those resources. I simply do this by selecting the codes and the descriptions and copying them from Excel, and then going back to the Hard Dollar tool and going up and selecting this Block Select option. This is very important. It allows HD to function very much like Excel. So now when I click in the top left field, it selects just that field. I could right click and paste the codes and the descriptions into the HD tool. And we see it populate right in. It's important to note that the code and the description had to be side by side just like they were in the Excel spreadsheet. But you'll notice that at this point it's not brought in any unit costs. To do that, we need to get into a more detailed view in Hard Dollar. So I turn off the block select mode and go to my view, and we're going to switch to a view called Resource Cost Details. And when I do this, what it does is it flattens out all of the information that is populated in Hard Dollar for all of my resources. So I see all of my equipment, my labor, my materials with the breakout of all of their rates. But we just want to look at labor at this point. So I go to my saved views and select the labor view. Now on that spreadsheet, I was bringing in those resources representing just one rate for each resource. In other words, we see here that as those resources have come in, that they now are represented in a scale 1, a scale 2, and a scale 3. But I'm not worried about overtime or double time at this point. So I'm going to filter down to just one scale for my rates. We're now ready to bring in the resource detail for each of those rates. To do that, it's also important to make sure that I have the same ordering of my columns, both in Hard Dollar and in Excel. So I have my labor base, my burden, my fringes, and so forth. And if we jump back to Excel, we have the same ordering of columns. So I'm now going to select, starting with this labor category, and select all of the resource rates, scrolling over to make sure I catch all of the categories. I right click and copy, and then coming back to Hard Dollar, I go to block select mode one more time, and in the labor category in the top left, I right click and paste. It will again prompt me, are you sure you want to insert the selected values? I indicate that I do, and we now have, as we can see, brought in all of those rates with just a few clicks, saving me potentially hours of effort getting this information into Hard Dollar. So now the annual or semi-annual process of getting in your resource rates is cut down to just a few minutes of time to get those updated so that you can have the accuracy you need in putting together your projects. Well, thanks a lot. We will see you next time.